It's Today at Cowes, day 5 already, and it's featuring the youth of all the sailors here. But when we woke up this morning, it was grey, it was a little bit breezy, maybe a bit of rain again, very much similar to the previous days. But I think there was one thing up the sleeves of the race organisers.
Well, there certainly was. There was one big change, and we'll come on to that a little bit later. What struck me as quite interesting about that change, just to tease it out a little bit, is that it didn't seem to matter whether you're a rookie or whether you're a rock star. You were going to be challenged by this new move.
OK, well, you went out in the water pretty early to find out. Let's hear what you had to say.
For any of the crews that were looking forward to some downwind action, well, day 5 was their day, because it started with a downwind start. In fact, for everybody, the leg went well into the eastern Solent. And for the asymmetric boats, they had a day where there were some very long downwind legs. And some nice waves and some nice gusts to surf down. The only slight catch was that to have such nice extended downwind legs, you had to do a long upwind leg as well, at least one.
Well, that's what it's like out on the water, Matt, but back ashore here, the big thing really was the wind behind going east, all the courses set to the east.
Indeed, yes. I mean, downwind starts are pretty unusual, aren't they? Unless, I mean, at club racing you tend to get them a fair bit. But it's one of the things that actually makes Cowes Wick quite special. But I suppose what a lot of people might be asking, if they haven't done it before, is why would you start downwind? And that is, it's the tide. The tide has been building all week, and it's been getting later and later and later. So when the fleets went out there, it was going to the east all morning, and quite strongly as well. And the breeze wasn't that strong either. So if the race committee had tried to set the fleets off in the normal direction off to the west, they would have been pushing against the tide, and they would barely have got away from the line. So it does happen in Cowes Wick, and we do see it, and it's quite a challenge, as we found out.
It certainly is a challenge, because it's that timing, where how far up tide you go, what time do you turn and then make for the line, and we saw that right throughout the day. But let's go to our featured class, which is in fact the first race of the day. It was in IRC 0 and IRC 1. They're racing for the Britannia Trophy, and they're out there pretty early.
16 seconds to go. As we go towards our line, you can see the light grey of the line just to the left of Matt's rib there, the end of the end of picture. So
8 seconds to go.
That yellow mark completely off the line, as Matt was pointing out earlier.
No kites going up yet.
Here comes the hoists.
Yes.
Conservative start, but look at Fargo. Beautiful start for them. Really nicely timed. If they can get this set, 0R in the middle, beautifully set and absolutely ripping downwind.
Cracking start by La Provence, actually, on the other side of Fargo.
Really nice. Look at them struggling. It's a couple of boats here trying to get the kites filled. A bit lighter, a bit less breeze than we were expecting for this start, but Fargo, middle of picture here, grey hull, absolutely ripping downwind.
They got that timing absolutely spot on Fargo. They managed to create the impossible, really. They managed to find themselves a hole, get the timing right, and then the big risk for Fargo then was that people would roll over the top of them and just steal all their wind, but they just managed to hold that gap, which was very impressive for one of the smaller boats in the fleet.
Yes, we're watching La Provence, Andrew McIrvine's lovely boat, good start for them, and we believe Eddie Warden sailing on board there, ex-chief of Royal Ocean Racing Club. And look at Schuss now with its huge Jenica just powering up. Oh,
absolutely beautiful, overpowered.
Sheet on, boys.
See the main flogging, you can see the ripples through the black of the mainsail there on the right of picture, easing.
What they're trying to do, sorry to butt in there, but what they're trying to do, the reason they're pressing up is that they've gone down past the guard ship, and Fargo has gone to leeward of the guard ship and is likely going to lose their breeze, and those two big boats realised that they would be better off going to windward, so it was a little bit of a squeeze at the last minute.
Absolutely beautiful pictures. That kite beautifully set. Look at them. They haven't had a single flog since the start of the race. Not a single moment of missed trimming. So absolutely beautiful sailing by them.
So Bertie, you had quite a needle match on Fargo, didn't you, with the other IC37?
It was a long day, Matt. It really was. But you know, you can't get better than two completely evenly matched boats. These two IC37s are a real joy to sail, and we've got some great competition with our friends on Aqua, and we were just battling it out for 4 hours. Exhausting.
Which that's what you signed up for, Bertie. It's only because you've had the whole season where you've been sailing around on your own that it feels quite hard.
Yeah, I'm going back to sailing on my own again, actually. It's much easier. But in all seriousness, it was, I think we took a lot away from today. We were boat for boat. I mean, we got ahead of them, stretched our legs a little bit. They got back into us. So the lead changed a little bit, and honestly, we were absolute bow to bow on the finishing line. You could not put a paper between us. Although actually in the end, we just got split on the line. There was a trimaran moored there. One had to go one side, the other had to go the other. We didn't think going down the middle was very sensible. So that's what split us, and in the end there was a bit of line bias to the pin end, which gave it to these guys, but well deserved and no complaints.
Now, you went into today equal second, I think. Was it equal second today overall?
Yeah, it's so close in zero, or it was so close in zero. I think we slightly dropped off the edge now, but yeah, we were third. I think with discount the top three were like 1 point apart. I think there was 1 point apart between three boats with a discount. So it's been great.
I mean, you've done a lot of racing in this boat in the Solent this year, and not all of it has been particularly close. And yet, are you surprised to find yourself, I don't mean that like at the front of the fleet, but you've had some really close racing where the rest of the season you haven't had a lot of close racing?
So I think the thing is that this boat was new last year. In fact, we didn't get on the water till probably mid-June last year, and we never really got into it. We didn't really get the boat going properly. We did some further mods over the winter. Also, actually, these boats like breeze. So this year, unlike last year, which was so light, if you remember, Cowes Week last year was horrendously light and from the east until I think the last day, and then it was from the west, and there was loads of breeze. But so they like a bit of breeze, and it takes time. You've got to be patient with a new boat. You can't just jump into it and go.
Did that bloke Ben give you any tips yesterday?
It's exhausting telling people what to do all the time. Up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. He was all right.
He was, wasn't he? You got a bullet.
Yeah, and actually great to sail with. Yeah, we had a lot of fun yesterday. Actually, it was great.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're having a good week. It's good to see you out there. It's good to see you having some close racing. Keep at it.
Well, nothing like a good Cowes Week boat on boat.
Bertie Bickett there on board Fargo, and Fargo remains third overall in IRC 0, so still a bit to go. We look forward to seeing Fargo back out there. But now let's turn our attention to IRC 2 and 3.
As a distinctive colour, yes, the dark blue hull. Another one to watch out is 22118, which is Leon, has Leon written across the bottom of the sail, second overall.
Oh, that's a great start by 7408.
Great start.
Wow,
Look at them in the
timing
middle.
Perfect.
But not ready with the spinnaker. So now it'll
After.
be interesting. This is going to cost them because they haven't got the pole arm. The kite's not being set. The boat's behind them. Look, I believe that's Hugh Brayshaw on 4374.
Yeah, that's the French boat. Nutmeg 6.
It's a new
This one.
new boat to him. So they're just getting set, but a nice early set from them. You can see them pulling away and getting down into that extra tide, more tide at the top of picture as we look at it, with that deep channel running left to right across the screen.
Yes, it's in a very good position there, Oscar, because they, as you will have seen, they're further to the south, so they've got a clear run out to the east. They don't have to worry about the guard ship. The tide's still running pretty good down there, and they've got clear air. Whereas Leon is going to struggle now. They've got to make the decision. Do they go to the south of that guard ship, or do they risk going to the north and losing their breeze? So they've got far more things to think about. I think, yes, it's got the upper hand in these opening few seconds.
Bit of a match race almost going on, really, between Yes and Leon, David Franks' Leon, because there's only 2 points separating them overall at the moment. So at the front there of the fleet is a bit of a match race.
Leon's going to have a real struggle getting around the bow of that guard ship. I think if there's one thing that people have underestimated this morning, it's not how much tide there is, it's not how difficult it is to get your time on distance right, it's the obstacle that greets you 30 seconds into your race.
And look at, we got Leon in the middle of the picture, but we just lost Yes out the front. You can see them being squirted round the front of Leon there, just in the left of shot. Look at them. They've made excellent gains after that start. Leon quite nicely set there, right of picture. You can just see Yes down here. Hopefully we'll pull out and you can see Leon. Look at them as they squeeze around the front of this guard ship. Double whammy here with this guard ship, because if we look, you can see there's actually a barge been placed just alongside it. So it's not even just the guard ship's width, it's that plus a bit. Leon just about making it around the front in the tide there. But you can see Yes in this controlling position. Look at them able to pull the pole back a little bit and close the gauge with Leon, being able to choose whatever they want to do here.
Well, Adam, it looked like a long day today, or certainly long legs. But how did you get on?
Yeah, we had a good race, although, as you say, it was a very long race, particularly long beat. It felt like we'd effectively done an offshore race by the time we got to the top mark.
We saw as you came over the finishing line or as you approached the finishing line, Leon was pretty close on your tail. How did you get on?
Yeah, we were always quite close with Leon the whole way around the track. We're very close boats, and upwind they often have a little bit of an edge on us, and downwind we often have a bit of an edge on them. So we're particularly pleased today, because it's predominantly upwind race, that we were able to beat them.
When it came to the start today, it was all change, wasn't it? A downwind start, and as we were saying on the commentary earlier on today, even the professionals don't practice this. How difficult was it to change gear and to get that right?
Yeah, it's a particularly hard one. Of course, downwind with the tide behind you, and you try and be as close as you can, but if you get a little bit wrong, it's horribly wrong on that one. So you'll generally see everyone being quite conservative on it, and as you rightly say, we're not used to starting downwind, so when we're always advised it's going to be a running start, is a bit of a here we go.
Do you like that though? Do you like that sort of variety that you get here at Cowes? I mean, there's downwind starts, there's shipping, there's tides, there's rocks, there's loads of traffic, and there's so many things that maybe you don't find at other regattas around the world. Is that what makes it special?
Yeah, I think it's a proper love-hate relationship, isn't it? You know, we dread the running starts downwind, down tide, but then we quite like them. And the whole thing about Cowes and sailing in the Solent is it is a unique situation. As we discussed the other day, it's all logged in the books. You know, if you get a copy of Winning Tides, you know as much as I know about the tides. So I have chums that come from all around the world and sail in Cowes, and they love it because you've got a whole new dimension, but they can read up on what they're going to get. So I think it's a unique place to sail, and then of course beating up the shore, into the shallow stuff to get out of the tide. You don't get that many places around the world.
And you're going to need to keep all that in mind over the next 2 days, because there's only a couple of points separating you and Leon, isn't there?
Yeah, it's very close, and I think the results don't do service to the other two boats that are very close to us in our class, because both Incognito and Tilt are well sailed and they're really close to us all the time. They've just had a few unlucky runs, and I would expect to see them come into the results over the next few days as well.
Adam Gosling there, and yes, managed another win for them in IRC Class 2. They were also racing in IRC Class 3 on their start, so it was quite busy for the Britannia Trophy. Great result for Adam though.
Yeah, very much so, yes. I mean, how many years have we been seeing him at the front of the fleet? I mean, he really does know his way around the Solent. And of course, he's won Cowswick overall several times, so he's always someone to listen to.
But the Britannia Trophy, that lovely big trophy, and race for around the island, sometimes in the course that they set here at Cowswick, was won by Ian Atkins and Ian Walker on Dark and Stormy.
Yes, a very impressive performance by them. I mean, they've had a hell of a season so far in that boat. They won around the island. They've been doing very well in some of the other events that have been going on here, and they just have really got it wicked up. And they're unstoppable at the moment.
Well, they went off like a robber's dog, I think, to use your expression, Matt. They went off down the Solent, and Dark and Stormy went round to win by some 3 minutes or so on corrected time. Well, that's it from day 5, and we will be back tomorrow. It's an interesting day tomorrow because overall results start coming into factoring, and also there's discards to come into factoring racing calculations. A real nightmare for us lot, out on the water as well as ashore, but we'll bring you the results and the live commentary as it happens.